Hello, everyone and everything, and also hello to you, Quirrell. And welcome back to more Hollow Knight. In the last episode, we defeated Hornet, and she gave us this fantastic new ability, the Dash. In this episode, we are going to make as much use of it as we can and explore all of Greenpath, or at least all that's possible for us to reach now with our brand spanking new dash maneuver. This thing is so freaking good. I am so excited about this. We're going to run up here. It's going to make sure we know how to use it before it lets us out. And head back on to Greenpath proper. The first thing that I want to show is me getting hit by a moss charger. Yes. No, the first thing I want to show is back up here. We've got those sets of moss knights. Not that one. Looks like that one despawned. But we've got this moss knight here, along with his buddy behind him. And we now have much better ability to fight them with the dash ability. And they each give 40 geo when you defeat them. So I just wanted to show off that these two respawn every time you go to the bench straight down below at the station. And that's 80 geo every time you come up and take them down. So that is a very worthwhile way of getting a bunch of geo. And personally, I'm going to try not to grind at all. There is lots of money in the world, so as long as we just rely on what we find laying around, we should be just fine. I'm going to sit in this bench here at the the stag station, which is right over there, before we head out. And that's going to be really important, the fact that I sat down there. Even though I'm not going to die, and if I do, I'm going to have to start the entire game over. It's going to be important that my spawn point is set there. Here's a super well hidden wall with a secret. Ow! That was mean! Go away! Anyway, with a secret for us, a Wanderer's Journal. It's not super clear what we can do with that just now, but it is important for later. So the first thing that I'm going to do, the first direction we're heading, is going to be straight down from that stag station. And there are a bunch of camouflaged enemies everywhere. Die. It's gonna make life a pain. But I'm on the hunt. I want money. And you will not stop me. There we go. Okay. And the reason I'm heading straight down here, there's not going to be anything besides geo for us. At least, like, nothing substantial. Hey, we just broke 1,000. That is a big... You know, you can live to fight another day, plant. I just don't like you guys. Mainly why I'm here is because there's this shortcut here that leads down to the lower areas. Oh, I see you. Nope, not this time. Not this time. And opening up the world, just in general, is a good idea. The game isn't super heavy on backtracking, but it's just going to make... Every shortcut that we find is going to make exploration just that much easier. And down here, there is not a lot we can do. Once we get past that monster, there is absolutely nowhere else for us to go. But this monster, though he may seem kind of invincible with this big spiky shell, his face is vulnerable. And I do just want to show off that you can defeat him and unlock another entry in our journal. Let's see what he was called. A Duranda. That's a really cool name for something. I feel like it sounds sort of familiar, though. And down here at the very bottom, we've got another one of those lore tablets. From moss and leaf our life is drawn. While it grows upon the path, we shall never wilt. These lore tablets, I read them in the last episode, but I didn't really talk about them at all. And I'm still not going to, because I have to explain something real fast. While we're down here, I'm going to make use of something called bench warping, where if you quit the game and resume, you will immediately be teleported back to whatever your last placed spawn point is. This is super helpful for exploring the world in an efficient way. We're not super concerned with speed right now, but I am sort of concerned with efficiency in general. I'm not going to go fight those Moss Knights. I already said I'm not going to grind. We have plenty of money. We're just going to head on this direction. So, those lore tablets, they are written by creatures called the Mosskin, and they're the creatures that we see around us right now. That's a normal Mosskin, and I think that's called an infected Mosskin. And they seem to be much less intelligent than they have been in the past for some nefarious reason. But these Moss tablets are remnants of their history. We know that some great being breathed life into Greenpath and sprouted up the Mosskin along with them. More money! I haven't actually spoken much at all about the lore of Hollow Knight. Rest assured, I do plan on going over it in a lot of detail as it becomes more relevant. Right now, I think just the mystery of it all is a lot more engaging, though, than if I just were to dive in and explain the why and how of absolutely everything right now. So we're going to leave that to one side for the moment. And I'm going to head up this way for another really well hidden little lore tablet. Hidden Un, we need you now. We go tired away from you. Our leaves are falling. Slightly ominous. I'll go out this way. I'll show that this is actually the ledge that we very first saw Hornet on, but could not reach because she was too far. Now that we've gotten the Mothwing Cloak, we can, in fact, make that jump and just connect the world that much more. Now from here, we're going to drop down more. So much money, I love it. I cannot get enough of these gather flies. Something I haven't actually talked much about is the way they pathfind to you is kind of funny. Because sometimes they'll pick up Geo, but then they'll just start swirling around. I'll see if I can show that. Let's see here. Nope, not quite. So sometimes they'll just start like running in circles around the knight like this, because when they're too close, they sort of swing around. And you may have noticed sometimes what I'll just do is I'll just do a little jump before moving on to sort of get them back on track. But I just find it kind of hypnotic, the way they just spin around you sometimes. It's just another way they're sort of characterized. In any other, like, they're just a money magnet. In any other game, the money would just jump straight towards you, but here they're characterized. It's just adorable. I have to gush about it. Unlike these little mean flies, the way they dart towards you, and all the other enemies in this game, they may be cute, but luckily I have an excuse to kill them now because I want to fill up my monster journal. And here's going to be a really good little tutorial of some of the applications of our dash. This one is going to teach you that you can dash after leaving the ground even if you don't jump. And the timing here is tricky. Okay. Nailed it. That pun was not intended, but that is a great application of the fact that our weapon in this game is called a nail. We got a new charm there, the Thorns of Agony. Not my personal favorite. The Thorns of Agony will create a hitbox on the screen every time you get hit. I'll go ahead and show a little footage of what that looks like. It can be useful. If an enemy hits you, you hit them right back automatically, but it also makes it so that it takes longer for you to act after getting hit. And I would rather just do the attack myself, personally. It's nifty if you have nothing else that you really want to spend your charms on, but I have plenty else that I want to spend my charms on. So, we're going to go ahead and leave that one to the side for a while. I also want to show that over here there's something shiny. Looks like that Wanderer's Journal that we picked up a little bit ago. But this jump here is completely impossible. So we're going to have to let that stay there for a while. We'll be back. Fret not. Shiny things are not safe from me. I shall hunt down everything with even the remote chance of monetary value. Up here at the top, this area is only reachable if you have the cloak, but there's yet another charger here. Take him down. Now we're back on somewhat familiar territory. I'll go ahead and show. Right now we are at this point after coming down all the way through there. Once again, familiar. We are kind of going backwards through where we went, but we've almost hoovered up everything that we can grab on the path that we already saw before we start getting into new territory. This one was entirely my fault. I completely forgot about this little secret right here. Our last of the lore tablets. Those who stray from the White King's roads shall face the law of Un. Probably could have gotten that one first. The order of them, I'm not certain how much it matters. But here's all 5 of them on the screen right now. You can make of it what you will for the moment. I went ahead and placed my spawn point on that bench that we already were at. It updates the map, which is helpful, but it's going to be another instance of me bench warping in just a sec, so take note. That was another new enemy right here, these flower guys. Excuse me. These flower guys are unique. They will, like, sort of retreat into themselves if you get close enough and be unavailable to get hit. Sort of like the, oh, I always forget what they're called. Balders. The one that was blocking the way to Greenpath. But these ones are a little more simple to deal with. You can just shoot their projectile right back at them. Now we've got an area... Ow! That guy just jumped into spikes. You know, I know how you feel, buddy. Should have had a nail pogo. So we've got an area through here, which is rather dark. Ole! Your turn. Ow. Ole! So as we make our way through the darkness here, we'll find a temple, which is pitch black. I am going to increase the brightness as much as I can here, but it's really just not helpful, I assume. I'm not seeing it when it's bright, so what do I know? But this area is meant to be traversed once we have a way to light the path. We don't have that means, but I know this area decently well. Wait a minute. Oh, here we go. Okay, so follow my instructions to the letter, and we'll get through it just fine. After clearing that first room by zigzagging up those platforms, look for this guy in the background. It's dim, but you can see him. And do a full rightward jump to get up to this platform here. Do another one to miss the jump. Ignore me. Ignore me. I know what I'm doing. Every time we die in here without the lamp, it will teleport us back to the entrance, which is pretty helpful, I must say. Okay, so full rightward jump from the guy, another full rightward jump to get to this platform in the middle, go to the left side of it and do another full rightward jump to get to this platform, do a slight jump to the right here, and then do a dash jump to get to the top here. This gap here must be dashed over. As we get to the sides here, hearing that means there's spikes above us, but we can get a way around that. Now there's going to be a drop. I think. Yes, a drop, and we're going to hook around the side of the next one too. Another drop to clear with the dash, and then another little spikes above that we can hook around, and that's gonna do it. More mask flies, guarding a mask shard. Well, that's fitting. Whew. We made it through there. That is everything that we can do in here for the moment. We could fumble our way back out, but instead, I'm just gonna bench warp again. I am a master of teleportation. I want to make something clear right now. Because I'm playing in Steel Soul mode, bench warping, when it looks like I might be in danger, is a really smart strategy to keep myself from suffering permadeath. I am not going to be making use of that strategy. I'll make it clear right now. As a personal rule, unless the only time where I will make use of bench warps is anywhere where I am not in any sort of immediate danger. If there are enemies currently attacking me, I will choose not to bench warp and just play things out the way they are intended, just to make sure that there's that tension that's sort of, oh, what's the word? Implied by Steel Soul mode. So we've got this room here with an upper and lower path. I took the upper, but if we take the lower, we meet the massive Moss Charger. The massive Moss Charger is designed to be the perfect place to test our brand new Mothwing Cloak in combat. Designed to be, but well, we'll get to that later. Only 2 attacks under this thing's pelt. The Moss Charge and the Moss Pounce. I'm gonna go over both of them at the same time because they're so similar, and I'll just be repeating myself otherwise. The Mighty Morphin Moss Chargers prefer to attack from the right side of the screen, but will usually switch to the left if you're too far to the right. Usually, not always. In between attacks, they'll always burrow back into the ground to essentially teleport for the next attack. The charge will see them run straight along the ground until they reach a wall, and the pounce will have them leap from the ground to wherever the knight was standing when they left the ground. The charge is incredibly simple. Just jump over them and get in a nail pogo to send them on their way. If you've got some soul built up, you can also launch a Vengeful Spirit at their back to quicken things up. The pounce is a little rougher because of how fast it is, and the fact that they slide forward a bit after landing, so our best response here is to dash forward and pass safely underneath, not worrying about dealing damage. But that's about it. Now, from all that, you might expect that what we're gonna do here is stick to a neutral position, probably center screen, not get greedy, and only get our attacks in as the charger passes us by, and sure, we could do that. Or, we could do it the real man's way. Mighty Mouse here is highly susceptible to the knockback of our nail while charging along the ground. If we plant our feet in front of them and time our strikes just right, we can stall them out before they even reach the far wall, and rack up massive damage in the process. So that's gonna be our game plan instead. Wait for a charge, and then let them have it. Time for our first cheesy boss fight. Let's unleash the power of cheap tactics. It's time for your time to have come. Why are you coming from the left? You never come from the left. Thank you. Now charge. Thank you. Alright, now that's probably just about gonna be the end of it. Thanks for playing with me, Moss Knight, but your time is up. I think I just called him Moss Knight. That's not quite right. We get a lot of Geo for that, but other than that, nothing there was required. Very much like the Vengefly King, we can just leave that fight whenever we want if we need to heal or anything. Ow! If we need to heal or anything like that. And everything that's beyond him is also pretty optional. He's not guarding like a mask shard or anything too important like that. Alright! That little symbol means that we just took out the last mask fly that is required. And I actually want to read their entry. They all keep lookout for danger, and when one flies away, the rest do as well. I wonder how it feels to have the protection of a pack. Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm quite glad that I don't have to just murder those things for no reason anymore. Because now they are safe from me. They can flap away another day. Ooh, I see Geo and I want it! Wait a minute. How do I get the... Ah! I want the Geo. Okay, looks like I gotta come up from below. That's okay with me. Lots more. If any of that falls in the acid, the flies cannot retrieve it, unlike with spikes. And over this way, we'll get a really cool room that will give us a lot of practice on the nail pogo. If you haven't got this thing down by now, this room is great to just sort of get a feel for the rhythm of what's necessary and what's possible, how soon is too soon, how late is too late. And these guys, it's possible to actually get through this room pretty easily by only doing one nail pogo at a time and bridging the distance with our dash. But I like making use of this room just to practice. We got a chest there. Now, chests of Geo are pretty rare in Hallow Nest. Usually it's just Geo rocks, but the chests are nice boost to our count. We've actually almost got 2,000. Hello, little grub. And that's as far as we can go right now. That wall there is just too tall for us. We are going the wrong way. Okay. Oh, nope, that's going to be too far as well. Come on, there we go. Bridge that gap, and we have made it back out of here. And that is just about everything that we can get. Whoops. Everything that we can get here in Greenpath. Now that we've gotten the dash. Well, I'm sorry, I said I wasn't going to do that, Mask Flies. Just because this guy is in a good position. We do want to kill as many of them as possible, and this is the only place that we're going to see them. So, that is everything that we can get with the dash. There's one more charm that we could get. I'll tell you right now in case you want to find it for yourself. It's up north, there isn't really a north. Up at the top near where we fought the Vengefly King. If you explore that area with the dash, you'll find it no problem. But I am going to be a little more efficient and leave that till later. And we're going to head down to the third area of the game, Fog Canyon. This area is beautiful, sort of peaceful, but also terrifying for a couple of reasons. All of the enemies we see here are completely non-aggressive. And we can hop across them pretty safely, take them down, get some Geo. The little ones don't even drop Geo, but we do, of course, want to fill our monster journal. I'm going to stop saying that, and I feel like I'm saying it a lot. This here, though, is a completely impassable barrier of some sort of dark stuff. Which is a shame, because I can hear Cornifer, and he's humming right over there. I see his pages. But unfortunately, we're going to have to travel on without a map. Crawling blind right now. But that's okay. Now, on to what makes this place terrifying. These creatures, the big jellyfish, if they are not dropped into acid, as we did in that last room, their little core cells will explode. And not only that, but they'll explode in... Well, that was lucky. Maybe I'll show it with you. They'll explode in such a way that... I'm trying to demonstrate something. They'll explode. There's acid down there. That's why it's not working. Okay. They'll explode in such a way that homes in on you, does 2 damage, and is extremely difficult to avoid. You have to be super tactical about how you take them down if you want to defeat them. This room off to the left, this is something very optional and very difficult. A tough platforming challenge with more of these lightning flies. And thorns. Oh boy, this could get strenuous because I don't have any soul to heal with right now. We got this, we got this. Okay. What's over this way? Interesting. There's flying bushy guys over here. But there's nothing else for us. This area is gorgeous, but another one of those dark barriers is blocking our path this way, and a gate with a lever that we can't reach is blocking our path the other. Wherever we are, it's going to have to wait until later. So why did we come all the way over this way? Well, that's simple. Hop, hop, okay. Whew. That's probably the toughest timed jump in that room. We've got another lifeblood cocoon. And this one is special. It has 3 in them instead of 2. And up at the very top, we'll find a Hallownest seal. That's very similar in its function to the Wanderer's Journal. Something, ouch, we won't know exactly what to do with until later, but I assure you, it's something that we want to have. And that's going to finish off that little side route. We're going to get back on the critical path here and keep traveling downwards. Another room filled with jellies. I don't even see how many. There we go. Yes! Perfect. Now, if you don't want to take these things out, that is completely fine. You can just ignore them as best you can. Just sidle along them. They're not aggressive. They won't go towards you unless you attack them. So it's very, very valid to try and just avoid them. Uh-oh. That was fine. That was cool, actually. But I wanted to get my hunter's notes filled out on them, which it looks like I already did, which is fantastic. So now I can just ignore them in safety. Whoops. I broke that sign. Hopefully whoever owns it doesn't notice. Now, who does own it? Hello there, dearie. I was about to close up shop and run till you came along. I provide a banking service if you're interested. Losing one's geo is a terrible thing. It's so much more likely if you carried it on oneself. My vault is so much more secure. In all my time as a banker, I've never lost a single geo. Maybe you'd consider opening an account? Huh. Well, that sounds like a pretty smart idea. You're a smart one. Next time some dreadful beastie gets the best of you, you'll be glad you to know your geo's safe within my vault. Now let's do some banking. I would love to, Millabelle. Our max balance 4,500. For the moment, however, I do want to hold on to my geo because something that we're going to need to spend it on is coming right up. But I do want to keep you in mind, even though you are objectively useless to me in Steel Soul mode. Outside of Steel Soul mode, however, she will make sure that any geo that you leave her, hello, Quirrell, stays safe. Even if you die, it's not going to get lost if you happen to lose your shade. Isn't this something? I'd expect to discover so huge, or I'd not expected to discover so huge a stag station after that foggy descent. The bugs of Hallownest must have been an impressive lot, building such grand structures so far into these wilds. Seems the dangerous creatures haven't yet made their way in here. It's the perfect place for a quick rest. Does seem to be. I do want to point out, it's possible for us to have made it all this way down here without the Mothwing Dash. This jump in particular is what we need it for. But before we head on that way, there's a few more things for us to see. Like right over here. Oh, come in search of treats, have you? I chanced upon a unique little fungus growing right above us. I found it only in this station, and the taste is just divine. This place must once have been quite the hub. Built at the border between 2 lands, that misty drop to one side and those bulbous growths another. Neither place seems particularly welcoming, so while my little treats last, I think I'll just stay right here. Well, I'll leave you to it, Willow. She seems friendly enough. This place is really interesting. A nice look into the architectural feats of the older bugs of Hallownest. If we head over here, we can see a mask shard, which would give us a 4th, is hidden right behind this gate. But unfortunately, the path to it is blocked with jumps too high for us to make. Intriguing, and we'll have to keep it in mind. Over this way, we'll find ourselves another bench. Sorry, little blue masks. I'll leave you to it. Our map is updated, but we still don't have a map of wherever it is we are. But this is certainly important. A toll machine. Let's call upon the stag and see what he has to say about this place. You've opened several stag stations now, haven't you? I'm thankful for the opportunity to once more travel through the kingdom. As I visit more places, I feel my memories returning to me, like the stagways of my mind are running once more. Continue to open the stations, and you'll have my deepest gratitude. Sure thing, buddy. Sure thing. Well, that is just about gonna do it here. We have made leaps and bounds of progress with our brand new dash ability, and it is about time for us to enter another brand new area. So in the next episode, we will explore the fungal wastes. If you like this video, thank you so much for watching. But before you hit that like button, just know that if you dare to do so, I will bully you with my nail and take you out with knockback over the course of a single one of your attacks, and it will make you look absolutely pathetic compared to the other bosses. See you guys next time.